Hi, I'm Karina. I'm a self published author, and usually on this page, I talk about writing advice and self publishing advice that I wish I had known when I started publishing. But today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Yesterday, June 21st, was my birthday, and so I got a lot of books from people that know me very well and know what type of gift to get me. And my husband also did something really fun this year. In addition to my birthday being this month, I had my son in February. And basically, since then, I think March maybe is when he started it, my husband set up this really fun system for me. He bought a gumball machine and he got these little pods that would fit in it. And he got uh, like 21 books, I think. He bought me 21 books, wrapped them each individually, and made miniature books that fit in the pod. And every day I'd put a quarter in the gumball machine, and I would either get a piece of candy or I would get a book with a number on it that correlated to one of the books that he got me that I got to unwrap. We called it 97 to 27 since it was my 27th birthday. So I have a lot of new books from that to share with you. I think I got a couple new books for Mother's Day this year. My in laws and siblings got me books for my birthday. So I have a lot added to my physical TBR. And so you can see if there's any you want to add to yours, or you can let me know down in the comments any that you've read and if I should bump them up in my physical TBR list. We will start off easy. So he did get me some children's books this year. I have been collecting children's books way before I even was pregnant or married. I love books for all ages, and I knew someday I wanted to have children. In addition to my own children, though, I have younger siblings and younger cousins that I interact with all the time and that come over to my house, and I wanted to make sure that I have reading material for anyone who is here. So, some of the new books this year that he got me was this series I had never heard of before, but they're cute little children's books. I don't know which one comes first, but they are super duper adorable. We have read them all to my son. See, just cute little simple ones. And then he also got me two of these to complete a trilogy that I have. What do you do with a problem? What do you do with a chance? And then I think the other one is what do you do with an idea? These ones I believe every child should read. I absolutely adore them, and the artwork is stunning in them. These are some of my favorites. I think he also might have got me a Berenstain Bear book, but I couldn't remember which one it was on my shelf, so I'm not going to show that. But I'm pretty sure we also got a Berenstain Bear book for the children's section as well. Moving on to some of the young adult books, I will give a disclaimer. Some of these books I've never heard of until I received them as gifts. And so for some of them, I do not know their actual ratings or genres. So some of these may be rated for adults versus young adults. You may have to do a little bit of research because I haven't checked on every single one of them yet. Just a slight disclaimer. Okay, so this is one of my favorite series I read as a teen, Peter and the Starcatchers. This one is kind of a retelling of Peter Pan, but oh my goodness, they go on way more adventures. Wendy is pretty cool, if I remember correctly. There's like these shadow creatures. It is so good. And then he got me that one. And then some of the other books in the series also. I previously had, I think, the second one already. So I've got more of those ones. I am a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Nickelodeon cartoon, not the one we don't speak of. And I always have complained about how they never resolved Zuko's mother. If you've seen the show, you know. And my husband found out that they have this graphic novel. It's called The Search, and it actually picks up basically where the show left off and answered so many questions that I had they left unanswered. This was so good. This was amazing. I am actually contemplating getting the rest of the graphic novels, even though I don't usually get those, because I loved this so much. And yesterday for my birthday, my husband took me to Barnes and Nobles, and so I had mentioned that I wanted to get a few more manga. I used to read them a lot as a teenager, but I really don't as an adult anymore. And I think it'd be fun to kind of get back into that. So he told me to pick one out. I have not heard of this one before, but it looked like a fantasy one, and I love fantasy. So I'm going to give this one a try and see if I like it. He got me the super cool, like Barnes and Noble's beautiful edition of the Arabian Nights. He also got me Wind in the Willows. I am not sure which bookshelf that ended up on right now, but he got me, a similar edition of Wind in the Willows. Absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen the Barnes and Noble's special editions, they are so worth it. Just look at that. Absolutely stunning. This is so beautiful on my bookshelf. I am in love. Moving into some of they're upper YA, or I would say new adult for mostly for these. Some of them have either heavier themes or slight spice in it, so nothing too heavy, but may not be suitable for children depending on what you like them reading. This one is Dark Parts of the Universe by Samuel Miller. I've not read this one yet. Samuel Miller, though, is a singer in a band called Paradise Fears. My husband loves them. And this is the third book, I believe, that Samuel's put out. I really like the other two. He generally deals with fiction and pretty heavy themes in it. So, not usually spice, but pretty heavy themes like grief and anxiety and things like that. I am so excited to read this one. My sibling got me this one, Running Close to the Wind. This is from one of my favorite authors of all time. This is a new book that they put out in the same universe as their other book series. I believe this one is about gay pirates, and I am so stoked. I cannot wait. These were the ones I'm pretty sure I got for Mother's Day. My husband and I listened to these on audiobook and loved them. Oh my gosh, they're incredible. He got me special editions, as you can see, with the foil on them. So this is the Shepherd King duology, and this person is on Etsy. I'll see if I can put their shop name down below, but they did an absolutely stunning job. This is an incredible fantasy. I would say new adult personally. I believe there was some slight on the page spice. Nothing too heavy, but just a little bit. And it was kind of a dark fantasy. Loved the world building in it and the magic system. Oh my goodness, that was so, so cool. And then I followed this author on Instagram for a long time. I've not read any of her books, but I followed her, and I'm so excited to have both of these now. I know for a fact she does not put spice in it because she advertises that. So these are advertised as swoony romances. This is a Pride and Prejudice fae retelling. Really excited for that. I want to see how she fits the Pride and Prejudice themes into this fantasy world. Moving into some of the books I'm a little more unsure of audience and ratings here. We have One for My Enemy. I love this cover. It is so simple, but is absolutely breathtaking in my opinion. I had not heard of this book before my husband got it for me, so I am very curious to see what it's like. I think this one, I can't remember if this one has vampires or not. I'm not quite sure. One of them was vampires. Wayward. I started listening to this one, and then I had a hard time listening just due to life and to the library. It had to take it back, so I have to recheck this one out again. But this one is about witches. It started out super cool. Trigger warnings, there's definitely domestic violence in the beginning for one of the characters as she's escaping that situation. But it started out amazing. I'm very curious about it. It follows like witches in 3 different timelines. And so I think they're connected overall, but I didn't get far enough to see that. This is a series that, again, I hadn't heard of. I think it's young adult based off of what I was reading about it, but I can't tell for sure. It's definitely fantasy, and I will see what I think once I get more into it. Sorry, baby woke up from his nap, so he came to join me for the last part of this video. We'll see if we can get through it quick. The Lost Bookshop. This one looks so good. The wait for the audiobook with Libby, at least for my library, is so long. So I think it must be pretty good. I think this one is just like a normal fiction book, but I'll have to let you know at some point. But I think this one looks so cool. Do you see that cover? It looks so charming. This was one that I picked up yesterday. It's a thriller. I have not heard of this one again, but my sister said she'd heard of it. It sounds super good. Again, just the cover and the title jumped out at me, and I love thrillers. Um, they've been something my husband and I have really gotten into actually listening to. I'm really excited to read this one and see what I think. Filthy Rich Fae. Ooh, this might be the vampire one. I think this is the vampire one I was thinking of. Again, never have heard of it. It looked super cool. And then when I just looked it up to try to figure out what genre it was, I think it said dark romance and vampire fiction, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Look it up for yourself, maybe. But this one, the side, the pages, I thought was so pretty. And then we have The Butcher and the Blackbird. I have been trying to get my hands on this book for a little while, and just it kept getting pushed to the bottom of my list for other reasons. Don't ask me why. It's been on my list for forever, so now I finally have it. This one is about a serial killer, and I think romance with it. So I am really, really excited for this one. With this one, we're kind of moving into my more adult for sure ones. So if that is not your speed, might want to skip this part. I have a couple Katee Robert books. I love Katee Robert. She is my favorite writer of adult romance. The how inclusive they are is amazing. The romance is incredible. The spice is incredible. If you haven't read Katee Robert and you like spice and queer people with your spice, read these. They're amazing. This one is Learn My Lesson. This is in the Wicked Villains series. If I remember correctly, Wicked Villains is in the same universe as the Dark Olympus series, but they're not actually connected. Dark Olympus is not really a retelling, but inspired by the Greek gods. We've got Zeus, Hera, all those ones. I love this series so much. I'm way behind everybody with getting this one. I've been following Emily on Instagram for a long time now, kind of watching her journey with her writing and her health. And so I decided to finally take the plunge and pick up one of Emily's books here. I'm really excited to get into it and see what I think. I'm not sure why I haven't done it yet. I think maybe I was being one of those people that was like too cool to get it while it was popular. This one is from a author that I found on Instagram. This is a sapphic retelling of like Merlin and Morgana, the Pendragon Witch. I started the first couple chapters recently. So good so far. I had to put it. Yeah, that was most of the books that I got for my birthday. Like I said, I think there's still a couple more hiding somewhere, but that was the majority of my haul of new books. Let me know in the comments if there's any of these that you have read already and really loved, or if there's any of them that you have on your TBR that you've been just waiting to pick up also. And join me next week. We'll get back into the writing advice, and we're going to talk about prepping for Camp NaNoWriMo. All right, bye. Is this really